Hey everyone. In this video, we're going to take a look at another example of dividing with complex numbers, specifically using the complex conjugate of the denominator to rationalize. Okay, so here we have 1 plus 8i over negative 2 minus I. We can't have any imaginary numbers in our denominator, so I'm going to rationalize this by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate. Now again, the complex conjugate means that you're keeping your terms the same, but you're just changing the middle sign. So negative 2 minus I, the conjugate to that would be negative 2 plus I. Okay, so in the numerator, we're just going to FOIL this. Okay, so first would be 1 times negative 2. That's going to give me a negative 2. The outer terms is 1 times I, which would be just I, or 1I. The inner terms, 8i times negative 2 is a negative 16i. And the last terms, 8i times I, is an 8i squared. So again, I just FOILed these two parentheses up here. And then on the bottom, we have we're multiplying a complex number times its conjugate. So all we're doing is squaring each of our terms. So here, it would be negative 2 squared. And then we're adding that to our coefficient here, which is technically a negative 1. So it's going to be negative 1 squared. Okay, now we're just simplifying this as much as we can. So I'm going to move on down here. I'm going to put it over here. Okay, so we have a negative 2. That's a 1i minus 16i, so that's going to become a negative 15i. And now what happens here is we have this I squared over here. We know I squared becomes a negative 1, so it's going to be 8 negative 1. Okay, I just substituted negative 1 in where I had an I squared. And on the bottom, negative 2 squared is going to be 4. Negative 1 squared is going to be a positive 1, so it's going to be 4 plus 1 on the bottom, which is going to give us 5. Continuing to simplify here, we're going to have a negative 2 minus 15i, and positive 8 times negative 1 is going to give me a negative 8 all over 5. Okay, so we'll have, combining our like terms up here, we're going to have a negative 10 minus 15i over 5. We can split that to be negative 10 over 5 minus 15i over 5. And then our final answer here, we'll just simplify each of those. So negative 10 divided by 5 is going to give me a negative 2. And then negative 15 over 5 is going to give me a negative 3i. And there's our final answer. All right, so again, it's a little bit of a process here. But it all starts by multiplying the numerator and denominator by the complex conjugate, and then the rest of it is really just simplifying, combining like terms and working around with your imaginary numbers to get our simplified answer.